W. Garrold, hospital in second class. And then I was sent to sea. One of the things that I had was that I have a heart murmur, and the Navy was always trying to throw me out, and I was always trying to stay in, and I did stay in for my whole 4 years. I've still got the heart murmur, and here I am. I'm 85 years old, you know. But anyway, they have to have certain criteria. But the thing that, one of the first things about the Harwood was I got my orders, I went home on leave, and I came back to Newport, Rhode Island. I got there at night, and I had my sea bag, and they took me out to the pier to wait for a boat to come get me to the Harwood. And if you've ever seen the statue of the lonely sailor, that was me. It was dark, it was cold, I was scared, and I was just standing there holding my sea bag like this, waiting for transportation. They took me to the ship. They didn't have any racks. They cleaned out some space in one of the little compartments that they had, and that's where I slept for the night, and that started my career with the Harwood. I was very fortunate. The chief that was the head of the section that I was in was a great guy. I can't remember his name. I've been trying to remember his name, and I can't remember his name. But anyhow, he always called me Laddie Buck, and he was really very friendly with me, and he taught me a lot. He was a well-trained corpsman. He had the extra training that corpsmen get, so he could do surgery. He could do about anything that you happen to need, and he taught me how to sew. And it came in quite handy, because when you're at sea, things are falling on people and things are cutting themselves, and they're in working with sharp objects, and we did a lot of sewing, and it was gratifying to see the work that could be done. Then we had some things happen. We had a friend of mine, a drinking buddy in fact, a chief, had a heart attack. And they called me down, my chief pharmacist, chief corpsman, called me down to the chief's quarters. And there he was. And my chief wanted to go get some adrenaline so that he could try to get his heart going again. And so he said, "You stay here with him," and sat me down alongside of him. And so I sat there for a few minutes. And I said to him, "How you doing, Chief?" He said, "I'm having another heart attack." And he fell over on me and he died. Damn, I'm sorry. And we were at sea, and we were doing anti-submarine warfare with the Cabot. And so they sent over an embalming kit and a doctor, and we embalmed him aboard ship at sea. And then we took care of his remains all the way to Gibraltar, which he was then put on a plane and sent home to his wife, who sent us a very nice letter for the care that we had given him. Sorry about that. It's the second time I've been talking about that. And when we were in Gibraltar, our ship was tied to a pier. There was a storm in our starboard screw, which I slept over in the sleeping compartment. Our starboard screw was lifted up onto the pier and down, and it was damaged. Well, it just so happened that Great Britain had a spare screw for us, so they put us in the shipyard in Gibraltar. And although our shaft was bent and they couldn't do anything about that, they did give us a new screw. And when we were in Gibraltar, that was when King George passed away, and there was quite a bit of ceremony on Gibraltar about it. Let's see, I served my time with the Harwood. I got married when I was on the Harwood. I met a nice young woman from Montville, Maine. And we kind of liked each other and decided we'd get married. And we did get married. And that I had to leave to be married. And then when I came back off leave, I went to underway training in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. That was a pleasant place to be, sort of. And what I've always said about the Navy is that the Navy made me a man, and it did. It took a boy, 18 years old, you know, wet behind every ear he had, and really not sure what he wanted to do. And I had a lot of people that put me right. The Navy made me a man, and I always give my wife the credit for making me a good man. And one of the other things I did, I was on a carrier for a while. I was with VC-4, which is an anti-submarine air wing. It was on one of those little carriers, and it was I'm trying to think what the carrier was. I went aboard it shortly after it had one of its catapults exploded, and what the condition of the crew at that time was pretty unhappy. I can't remember what the carrier was at this point. I did my 4 years, very pleased to do my 4 years. I came out of the service, and I was successful in the field of chemistry, and I also became a registered land surveyor in Maine, and I was kind of successful at that too. And one of my successes has been, my family is a military family. My son is here with me, and he's Navy. His daughter is Navy. She's been on 2 destroyers, and she's at the Pentagon right now. My son commanded a ship in the Navy. It's really, we're kind of a military family, and we're very happy with the Navy and what it has done for us.